It's starting. We are live. What do you... Okay. Can you hear me coming through the stream?
Oh, I shut my mute sound. Yep.
Okay, perfect. I will make it public. I just started it unlisted to test the audio. So hopefully my headset won't cut out. You know what's awesome about that being wireless and this being wireless is that we can go anywhere.
So
in the house.
If
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I'm gonna be like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you have to blah 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 into there.
Blah blah blah, Mr. Freeman.
Blah blah blah, Mr. Freeman. Nobody's here. So you're on the actual live watch page. I'll put myself on this page. Does it show as public? Oh yeah. Oh. Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Is it frozen? No, it's not frozen.
Nope.
Sweet. Well.
Just wait for someone to get here so we can show it off.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I should put a light on. Is this done recharging? Did I already put the batteries back in this? Oh, I did. Well, this will be really boring if anyone watches this after it's like become a regular video.
Right. We maybe won't make it a regular video.
Where are all of our internet friends? Am I like super close to the camera right now? Alright, it'll be like delayed. Ah! Did that help? Oh, that did make it better. I want to turn that up a bit.
See, you should listen.
Well, sometimes. Not all the time, though. I'm going to put a light over here, too. Is anybody... it says there's a couple of people watching.
There's 5 people here.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, everyone. This is our kitchen.
Sorry, remember you're talking into my headset.
Oh, right. So no one can hear me.
Yeah. You have to blah 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 into the mic. We talked about this already.
Check out our kitchen.
It's not done,
It's
but
there, though.
it's getting... stuff's happening. And it's very exciting. I'm going to light up over this way so you can really see, maybe. I'm like waiting for the delay to finish.
I know.
I don't know if that made any difference. But like it's like the countertop looks nice and glossy.
Yeah, it does.
In the light here. It snowed last night and it's like crazy bright outside. Yeah, let us know in the chat if you're there and you can hear us and everything. It's very quiet. We're just waiting to talk to some people. This has been a long time coming, the progress in our kitchen. We basically haven't worked on the tiny house in like a year. This entryway, you know, this is the door is to the left here, so this is me entering the tiny house. And this has just been completely untouched for so long. And we just recently spent quite a while, like a couple weeks, on this countertop, making it from scratch, and like cutting it out to fit the sink, getting it all figured out, and then we finally dropped it into place. And then just this morning we finished these melamine, Oh, what a joy melamine is to work with. Some shelves. We got some shelving in there. We got these shelves, which are also stained the same as the countertop. And the next step is going to be to make the cabinet doors, so this will actually close off and look like a real finished thing. And it's going to be awesome. And then we're going to make a coat closet thing over there. Is there anybody there?
Kels.
Kels is there?
Yeah.
Has Kels seen the shelves? Or she saw the picture?
Yeah, I sent her
She would have seen the picture. Cool. Well, I don't really know what to say. It's kind of like a wide open. We're open to questions and stuff too. Talk about the kitchen some more and what our plans are with it. If you're interested. We're gonna do some shelves in the corner. Some corner shelves over here matching these 3 that we've already done. Like that. And oh, I should get the faucet. I should bring the faucet in here to show people what the faucet's gonna look like. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make an update video too.
Let us know in the chat if you're there. I know Kels is there. Kels is. What are our plans? Well, Kels, thanks for asking. Our plans are to put some shelves, like I was saying, after we get the cabinet doors on. We're going to do a coat closet over here that's against the wall. I wonder if I can turn the camera. There's like such a delay. Ooh. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, you can see the door. So when you come in, this gap here between where the kitchen counter starts and the wall will be a coat closet, and we're thinking about doing it full height all the way to the ceiling, and then Kiva will get a like a regular height hanger where she can put her coats, and then I'm gonna make like a kind of pull out step thing, so some shoes can go under, and then there'll be this thing I pull out and stand on, and then I'm gonna put my coats up hanging like a coat's height like above it. And I was even actually thinking, I don't think I've told you this, but I was gonna say things like my combat boots and certain like some shoes or other items that are season specific.
Right.
There might be even some more space for a cubby all the way at the top, where we could tuck some of that stuff. I should tip the camera up just so you can see how it goes all the way. Can you tell me if this like works?
Yeah, that's to the top.
So you see all the way to the top. So there's actually no interior like paneling there. You can see the vapor barrier. So that section, when we finish that, is going to be a full-blown coat closet. Is this the angle that it was at before? Are there people tuning in?
Yeah, someone from Australia. Hello. Also, John Norris was asking about our farm sink.
Oh yeah.
We had initially been trying to get a farm sink that was white, but they were quite expensive. Like I think they were like $1,200 or $1,500. This is really awkward to talk about.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
And then we found this stainless steel one for $300 on Amazon.
So. Yeah.
So we got that one. So we did get a farm sink, but it was not white like we initially wanted.
Yeah, stainless wasn't like our first choice, but it's just the price. The price was right. And it's totally fine. It's good. Like the main thing, this is funny because I can demonstrate this. The only thing I don't like about stainless is like you know, it's got that kind of and like it feels kind of it seems thin.
Yeah.
And that's why a nice like I don't know if they're porcelain or what. What would the white ones be?
Yeah, probably porcelain.
So those are really nice and solid. But we can if we really hate the sound of this, we can always put some blocking underneath to kind of like
Yeah.
support on the bottom. It actually has some padding to reduce, to like absorb some vibration. I noticed that, which was interesting. But yeah, it's so awesome to know that when we are washing stuff in here, it's like for my entire life, if you ever have a pan, or a big cutting board in a small sink, you're like, and the water's streaming on it, and you're trying to rinse the whole thing, and you tip it to try to get the other side, and you end up splashing water all over yourself. It's horrible.
It's not gonna happen
It's
in this
terrible.
sink.
It's a first world problem, met to the max. But yeah, super annoying. And so when we were choosing the sink, we were thinking like, let's get a massive thing that will never have that problem because we don't have a dishwasher. We're not planning on having a dishwasher, so um, we need comfortable facility to do all the hand washing. Yeah. Should I run and grab the faucet? Actually, I just realizing I've never put it in place.
Okay, if you want to.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this stream was to show the kitchen how we are, and also ask about the caulking.
This is right.
But someone is watching from Brazil, so that's awesome.
Thanks
and
for coming.
Tim Butler says, "What I love most about you two building this together is how you're literally building a life together."
Yeah. Well, yes. It's very nice.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching. And we really are actually, we're building, the physical build is like building towards the daily life that we're going to have. And it's crazy how long it's taken, but each step is just one step towards that. And especially now that we're doing the kitchen, all of these decisions are way more visceral, like the decisions we're making on how, what are we going to put on this first shelf? We're going to put all our plates here. How are we going to, do we want to put them on a vertical rack? We're making all these decisions because it's like once we were actually in the groove of daily life in here, like, not that we have been living in here, but the element of not having the kitchen done just completely separates life, where we're constantly going in and out of the other house to do these sort of simple tasks that we should have in here. And now that we're getting those ready, it seems like a lot more real. But do we want to ask about the
caulking?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we thought we usually do like a Q&A on a live stream and have people ask us questions, but we have a question for you. If there's anyone watching that has experience with doing caulking around like a bathroom sink or a kitchen sink, or I think it's just silicone or silicone.
Okay.
Silicone or silicone. I should have brought the tube in here, but it's like a mildew resistant, meant for kitchen and bath caulking that we used, and we put a big bead around the sink and then lowered the countertop down onto it, and then when we tighten it down, like we put screws in from below to cinch down the countertop, and a bunch of the caulking kind of bulged out, which was the plan. And when I went to try to sort of tool it without a tool, with just my finger, to try to smooth it out, I basically just made a huge mess of it. But we didn't want to mess with it because obviously we want it to be sealed between the wood and the steel. So I just got as much of it away as I can, but it started to feel like it was like drying a little bit, and I didn't want to keep messing with it. So there's a bunch of excess on both the wood and the steel, and I want to try to take it off, but I'm not sure if I should try peeling it or cutting it. I don't want to take a knife to either the counter or the steel and scratch it. So I was even thinking like a plastic knife, like something you get from like a fast food place, to try to cut, that would be sharp enough to cut the silicone, but not so sharp that it would scratch anything. or if we should just scrape a whole bunch out and then reapply a fresh bead on top. I was actually thinking what we could do is take a picture of it on Kiva's phone,
Sure.
take a close-up and post it to Facebook, where you can see a higher quality image. So if anyone who's watching now is keen on giving us a tip on how to make this not look horrible, get a really bad spot, like
over here.
yeah, that's pretty bad. So this is a Q&A,
I can't even
us
see it in
us
the picture.
doing the Q's and you doing the doing the A's.
Oh, there we go.
Could have been a better way to say that. Can you see it? Maybe get over here too. This is pretty bad.
Did you put the flash on?
No. Is it on auto? Try another one. Try another one. Should I be checking the chat now? What was the last thing you saw?
Someone said they
I
read
hate
the
silicone. 3M caulk remover. Use a rag or a low abrasive sponge. Okay, but is that going to dissolve the caulk? And also, I should mention that the finish we used on the countertop is polyurethane. There's 6 coats of polyurethane on here, and it goes on the face as well. That, you know, all of it. So I am also hesitant to use a chemical that, if there's any chance that it could have any effect on the polyurethane, really. Because if we mess up the polyurethane on this part, that is going to see a lot of running. Because part of the reason we went this way and got this type of sink was so that we could, when we're wiping the counter, we can wipe straight in to the sink. So that's something I want to keep in mind as well. Did you get a good shot? What are you looking at?
But I was just opening up Facebook to put the video or the picture up.
Yeah.
And then someone made a comment that said, "By the way, that was me waving at you like a starstruck groupie last week at Port Place."
Oh, yes. That was so strange.
That was really
We were
funny.
recognized in the wild.
We were just like getting into Jake's car, and this woman was like getting into her car across from us, and she just waved at us, and we were like, "Oh shoot, do we know her?" And then we were like, "Oh no, I don't think so." And then we were like, "Oh, maybe she saw a YouTube video." It was, anyways. That's funny.
Yeah, we were just
That's awesome.
speculating. We thought, oh, did she know us from YouTube? Because it's pretty rare that people recognize us in the wild. Did you get a good shot?
Yes, I did. I'm putting it on Facebook right
I'm
now.
really stoked that a couple of you are chiming in here with the tips on how to deal with the caulking. So Kiva's just going to put a close-up picture of it so you can see exactly what we're talking about on Facebook. So if you go to our Facebook, just search Tiny Nest.
Yep,
if you don't already follow us. And she's going to be posting in a second. It's basically like, you know, any gap between the countertop and the sink is totally full with the silicone, but there's just a whole bunch of splooge that's like kind of over spray, but not spray, obviously, like just, you know what I mean. There's too much, and we couldn't get it all off, and I didn't want to. I brought a paper towel and was trying to get a bit off, but then I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a horrible mess of this. So tips, we're looking for tips on how to deal with that. If you're just joining us, thanks for coming to check out our kitchen. Go ahead and ask us questions about anything anything tiny house related. Obviously we're focusing on the kitchen because we were just working on it. Been putting in shelves. We're going to be putting on the cabinet doors, and then and some more shelving here, and a bunch of stuff. Really, we're going to put a piece of kind of thick, probably a 2x4, to cover because the boards that we made the countertop weren't long enough. So we've got these little divots in the back that we're going to cover with a trim. And when we were figuring out how to deal with this problem and thinking, oh, we're going to have to put some kind of trim over it, we thought, why not make that also a little ledge that could be a shelf to put like spice jars on. So all the way along the back, there's going to be a 4-inch high, about an 1.5 inch or so deep ledge, and then that's also going to get tile on the front. So that's going to be the backsplash and this extra ledge. Yeah. And then over here is going to be the the toaster oven. We've got like a fancy toaster oven, Breville smart oven thing. So that's going to go here, and we're going to build. We never built in.
They can't see you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pointing over here.
See your like arm.
You can see my arm pointing into the important place here. Uh, we never built in a range exhaust, which was kind of a mistake in the sense that we do need one, but we didn't really plan for one. I thought we could build some contraption where we could just open the window and have a fan blow it out the window, but then I never really thought about how that's blowing moisture and potentially grease or food particulate like at the screen and glass of the window, so that would just get nasty. So I found a couple things on Amazon that could work for this, where we're going to basically drill a hole through the wall all the way through the insulation and everything, put a fan, have that switchable on the shelf thing that the toaster oven will sit on, and I'll build like a box that we can put filters, basically build our own range hood. Because we did buy one actually. At one point I was like, oh, we'll just buy one of the self-circulating ones that doesn't exhaust out. But it was too big. It was so awkward, and like because of how we want the toaster oven here, that hood fan would be so low, and it just wasn't going to work. So, of course, we're going to make videos about all of these details, like the building details, when we get around to it. But I'm just ranting about the kitchen. Are there any questions or anything that's come up? Did you post the thing to Facebook?
I did.
I was going to, in case someone missed, that explanation, we're asking for tips on how to clean up kind of a bit of a mess that we made with put too much caulking when we sealed the sink to the countertop. So Kiva just posted a close-up picture of it to Facebook, and we're just looking for tips on how to basically either scrape off, peel off, or use a solvent that's friendly to polyurethane, because that's what's on the countertop, to get the excess kind of overspill or whatever of the silicone that we use to seal it. Let us know if you have any tips on cleaning up a silicone mess. Are there any comments, questions that have come through?
Nope.
No?
No, someone's just telling us to Google it.
Well, we just did it, and we were trying to do a live stream, so we thought let's get a little interaction from our viewers.
Tim Butler says,
because we typically, sorry, before you start that, we typically get a lot of comments and suggestions and things on some work that we've done in a video, but aside from the first like 10 videos we did where we were kind of putting them out as we were building, almost everything we put out now is from like a year ago. So sometimes people make a suggestion, we were like, oh, well, that would have been good to know then, or that's a good idea that we didn't think of. So we thought, oh, this is a good opportunity to, on an actual live stream, just straight up ask, like, this is a real thing we're trying to do right now that we'd love to get feedback on. Sorry, what were you about to tell me? You're out of the shot now.
That's okay.
You're trying to hide?
How does the new counter affect Ben?
How does the new counter affect Ben?
Benjamin likes it.
Yeah, he thinks it's
He thinks we should start preparing snacks for him
stylish.
on here.
Yeah, exactly.
Vent hoods from RVs are smaller. And are we thinking about traveling with a tiny house?
No, we pretty much right from the beginning planned to be stationary. So it's more of like a deployable house than it is a traveling unit.
Yeah.
If you'd like me to elaborate or any other questions about it, let me know. I mean, we want to have the option to move it if we needed to leave this property, or just whatever, for whatever reason. If we wanted to move, we can bring this house that we've hyper customized for ourselves for the best day-to-day life with us, rather than starting from scratch. It's like a lot of people move into a place and renovate, and try to add and make it their own, and then if you move again and you keep doing that, it's like you never really settle. So it's kind of neat to have the potential to have a home that you can just bring with you, and you're already set up. Like the moment you arrive, If you bring your house and deploy it, you're set already.
So Jeff is asking, does the government give you a problem about being on property of a house that is taxable?
We haven't really got that far into that yet, so we're not 100% set up and established. So being we're treating it, and I believe it would be treated as a vehicle because it is still on wheels on a trailer. It'll always be on a trailer. So until such time we were, if we were to like pour a foundation or really anchor some kind of um, something onto the land and lock the house down, then it would become part of the municipality, like the jurisdiction. But because it's a vehicle, it's closer to an RV. So it's as if we had pulled an RV onto this property with that has a house and we're living in it, which is typically it's like okay for a certain period of time. Imagine if you had guests, relatives come and stay with you for part of the summer in their RV. That's totally fine. So it starts to become a bit more unclear about staying in it for long term if it's being treated like a vehicle. So it's a huge gray zone, basically. I don't have a good answer. I'm just rambling.
And it says in the States there can be local laws saying that in one place with an RV or tiny house you have to move off 30 days before coming back. Just wondered about Northern Neighbors laws.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
And John Norris is saying, did the SketchUp drawing match the way the real installation went? Any tips for planning a kitchen?
Yeah, well, you know what? So you probably noticed that this is a diagonal sink. And we initially planned the way these windows are, and there's even a receptacle back here, because we assumed that the sink would go here and the countertop would be come to a corner. Um, but we realized that if we wanted a nice big sink, for one, we had screwed up and made the counters quite shallow because it's a tiny space. We thought, oh, we'll just have slightly shallower countertops, and then this huge sink that we knew we wanted was going to have trouble fitting there. We might have to put the faucet on the side, not behind it. And we were trying to figure out how that was going to work. And then we thought, why not try putting it in diagonally? And so we did that all in SketchUp because we got the dimensions of the sink off the Amazon product listing, just modeled like a block to represent it, and then tried to fit it in, found that it wasn't going to work here, then twisted it sideways and started looking at, oh, how much is that going to encroach on the space? Is it actually going to make a better space? And so we basically decided that it would be better. And I can't remember at what point we did it, but we just committed to doing this diagonal thing. And then we figured out all the framing. We decided to frame out this weird thing out of like framing lumber, basically, instead of making cabinets, because there's a water heater, a furnace, and we started plugging in a vacuum down here and thought, oh, why don't we have the vacuum tuck under the sink in the corner? We actually added a power receptacle under there so that it can stay plugged in. And yeah, it's like all kind of customized thing where we made the skeleton and it's actually wide open under there, and we're just putting doors. When you open the door, you're kind of opening into this huge crevice with different shelving and access to the water heater, access to the plumbing inlet, the main water shut off, and all that stuff is just easy to reach in and grab.
And we did like change things in SketchUp to see how they would look before we did it in real life.
Yeah.
So that was helpful.
Yeah. We even checked like how it would look with this diagonal orientation of the wood, because we put that in diagonally, and we were just putting in these shelves, and we spaced those out in SketchUp, trying to figure out how to space them evenly, but so that it would also match up with where we have like a wire sticking out for lighting that's going to go underneath, and also there's like this tube thing that I had put in for so we could drain a dehumidifier and stuff, and so we tried to like figure all that out. So SketchUp is great. We're all about SketchUp. I'm sure anyone who's followed us is well aware of that. You can check out our resources, some for free. We have a paid tutorial available in at our website, which is, I'm going to try to point. I'm waiting for the delay. Yeah. Oh God, it's over there. The card. If you click on that little info card, you can go to our website, and we've got all of our SketchUp related stuff is on there.
That's it. That's our
Yes.
update.
So if you had, other than Google it, which was a great suggestion, and it's often my first suggestion, about fixing the mess we made of the silicone, hit us with a comment on the Facebook post,
Yeah.
on the picture that Kiva just posted.
And we filmed everything, so there will be like a building episode that goes over how we made the countertop and the framing and everything. So
Yeah.
well, we will be finishing off our build series.
Yes. So if you like hearing me talk, ramble on, there's a lot of that with the countertop, because it was a lot of doing a bunch of stuff and then like a little recap clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna wrap it up. So I'll give you guys a minute if you have any last questions or comments on the kitchen. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. It's been quite the transformation in here, so quickly one after another, to put the countertop down onto the actual sink, have those shelves. We've got these shelves inside the cabinet area, and now all we have to do is cover them, and it's going to actually conceal most of the remaining like blatantly unfinished part of the house.
Yeah.
So that is going to be sweet. But yeah, anything coming up?
Thank you for saying it's nice.
Yes. Thank you for joining us on a
Sunday
yes,
afternoon, evening, depending on where you are.
for a not super well prepared live stream. We were just excited about the kitchen and wanted to show you guys. Yeah, I guess I'll shut her down. I have to awkwardly now walk like into the other room
Oh, okay.
to shut it off, because you guys are on, this is my phone up here, and I'm on a wireless. Everything's wireless. It's actually awesome because we can walk around. In the future, we'll do, especially when we get more stuff done, we'll do some nice tours, live stream tours, and you guys can ask us what you want to see, and we can talk about different stuff. So keep an eye out for our live streams if you like to see more of the house. So I'm going to go shut her down. Thanks for coming by. And again, leave us some feedback and tips on that Facebook post.